Hi, this is Hannah and baby Maya, who is 8 weeks?
Yes.
8 weeks old. And Hannah's just going to briefly talk to us about hypnobirthing, because Hannah was one of the first ladies I taught hypnobirthing to, and Maya came into this world listening to my voice.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, as Angela said, I attended a hypnobirthing one-day course probably about 6 weeks before I gave birth to Maya.
Just before Christmas.
Yeah. And it was a really nice group because it was very small. There were only 3 couples, and we talked through kind of the theory first of all of hypnobirthing, which was really helpful to try and get an understanding of the principles behind it. But then we applied it, so we used some scripts in the class and tried some breathing exercises, and we involved the partners quite a bit as well, which was nice. So the partners felt like they were able to prompt or actually do some exercises with us whilst we're in labour. And the actual birthing experience for me, I was very fortunate. It was a very straightforward labour, and I put a lot of that down to the fact that I was able to use the hypnobirthing techniques. So as soon as I knew I was going into labour, I put the scripts on, which I was very familiar with because I'd been listening to them. And although I suppose I couldn't fully concentrate on the content of it, because I was familiar with Angela's voice, it was in the background and it soothed me. And I can only describe the sensation of just feeling drugged up whilst I was in the first half of labour at least. I was in the bath and I was falling asleep between contractions. And I have no idea, but I think it would be very different if I hadn't used the hypnobirthing techniques. And it allowed me just to have a very soothing and calm experience of labour.
That's lovely. That's lovely. And yeah, and do you think it's helped you at all in the postnatal?
Yeah, I suppose I probably haven't used it as much as obviously I was preparing for labour, but I know the principles, and I know that I need to listen to my body and know when I need to rest and stop and take time for me. And I think that's a really important part, because I think it's very easy just to keep ploughing through and cope and manage day to day, but then you forget actually that there becomes a build-up of tension and stress. So it's definitely very worthwhile to continue the practice.
And would you say that the timing of when you did it was a good time? How many weeks? You were 30?
Yes, I was
34 weeks maybe?
Just gone into maternity leave, so probably a little bit later. I would say it's probably worth doing it sooner rather than later. But for me, because I had the time, because I was on maternity leave, I was able to dedicate more time to it. So it worked for me being at that point in time. But I think the longer that you have to practice, the better.
Yeah, that's my feeling. But then in some ways, I think it helps the partners when it's a little bit later. I mean, how did Max find it? Because he was quite challenging in terms of really asking lots of questions.
Yeah, I think I would say he was quite cynical going into it to begin with. He hadn't really heard the concept before, and it was quite last minute in terms of planning for it, so it wasn't something that we'd chosen to do together. I was like, come on, let's try it. But when he came out of it really positive, and he was really,
he came out with the first script kind of going, whoa, that's amazing.
He was won over, definitely. And it's just so helpful to have him to be knowledgeable in it whilst you're there. And I have to say the midwives were brilliant as well. Although they don't prompt you with the techniques, they totally matched the atmosphere that we'd created, and were really respectful of it, which was really
They were talking about it actually when I saw them on Monday evening.
No, it was
lovely. Thank you so much for sharing, giving us a couple of minutes so we can share your experiences. And little Maya here, gorgeous. Thank you.